Peace and good morning, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the File Playland. As always, I'm your file player. I'm hoping the fucking audio is not messed up on these videos because I made the last two on my laptop and that presented some problems for me in the past, but whatever. Drive on. Um, but I wanted to talk about some investment. Um, Actually, no, not talking about investment. This is not investment advice because I get this video torched. But some things that you should be made aware of. I wanted to make these videos before because I'm very passionate about this. Um, and I never talked about it in the past. I mean, I talked to a few friends of mine, like from YouTube, but like I talked a little bit with Michael Johnson. Please subscribe to Michael Johnson Boxing Talk more. Um, Briefly about some of this stuff, but and it's about physical metals. Some of the actions that have happened, like or investing in physical metals, or not investing in it, but using it as a hedge to protect your wealth. And wealth doesn't mean like excessive money, because personally, me, I've been broke for a lot of times in my life. I was homeless at one point. I mean, I was mad young when I was homeless, but I got evicted from an apartment, so for a little while, like I didn't have like a dope place to live. I lived in a piece of shit apartment. Let me see. But when I was young, I was homeless though. Like two times I was homeless for like over a month, let's say. And it wasn't homeless because I didn't have a place to live. It was homeless because I got kicked out of my house like by my mom. But the first time I was like 15, and the second time I was probably 17, maybe 16. Best times of my life too. That was like the illest time. Like me, homeless Joe was like the illest shit. Dope, getting laid, and doing street shit. Like staying out all night. Like that was like the time of my life, especially when I was young. But anyway, so I'm not speaking to you from a position of like a lot of money, or my mom still lives in Section 8. My dad was a drug addict before he passed away. Rest in peace. But there's no cake in it over here. I don't have nothing to fall back on. Like never borrowed money in my life either, and nor will I. But when I say like preserving wealth, um, you gotta understand like I've been in that position where if I made a little bit of money, like because I wasn't making big time money, like all the money I would have, like I would spend on dumb shit like haircuts. I don't get haircuts no more. My wife does them. Gear. Had every Jordan like fucking that would come out, even the colors I didn't like. Like I don't wear yellow, and I would buy yellow Jordans. Um, and like I would be living in these cramped apartments with fucking you know, 100 and some. I had like 160 pairs of sneakers at one point. Like fucking piled on to like some shitty ass IKEA furniture, like with no place to put them, thinking like I was the shit. Like so when one of my other ghetto ass friends would come to my house, they think I was like balling or some shit. Like meanwhile, like you know, I had like 300 to my name or some shit like that. But see, if I would have put that money into um the Jordan money, or the money I was using to go out and like show my clothes off, like to clubs, like clubs in New York, like $600. Like when I would go out, I had to buy a bottle, like, cause I ain't want to be around motherfuckers. Bottles are like 500 and up. A bottle of Moet, which I could drink by myself, four of them, especially back then. And then I had to order some hard drinks. One bottle of Moet in the club over here back then was like 350. Then you got to tip the fucking bitches selling it, like whatever. But so even though I didn't have money then, or I thought I didn't have money then, I probably could have had money like by saving it into a form of investment. But the investment that you should be like looking into that's unheralded is by far precious metals. And I've sort of dealt with precious metals my whole life. Like when I say that, it was more like me buying chains and stupid shit. But the chains I always bought were like solid chains. Like so, in essence, they were partially like holding precious metals, but that's not what you should be doing. Um, like if you look at my little icon thing, like that chain is like 600 grams, of gold. But that shit is whack. Like don't like I'm whack for wearing that shit. Like don't wear that shit. Don't buy that shit. Like that shouldn't be your investment. But the investments that you should look into, like and why I say you should look into precious metals is because these are like things that aren't heralded. Like Bitcoin and all that shit, like it's fine. Like I know people that have made hundreds of millions. One person that I know that's made hundreds of millions in Bitcoin. Um, but it's already known. Like Dogecoin is already like somebody or they already played that out. Will it go up? It could, but it's gambling, big time gambling. You rather go for shit that is not as big of a gamble, but and it's also unheralded, like where it's not like everybody's talking about it, like to save your money. Because if you have say like $1,000 to invest, and that's like it took you a long time to get that $1,000 because back then it probably would have took me like at least like a month to save a G. Um, especially when I was buying all the dumb shit. But if you take that G pack and then put it into Dogecoin, like per se, Dogecoin went down like 30 something percent today. You're not gonna want to fucking invest in like anything after that. You're probably gonna think like like my brother when I talk to him about these things, like oh well it's just better to fucking enjoy your money. I mean, I guess but with precious metals, I guarantee you're not gonna lose big time money in like a year span, let's say, you know, and that investment in precious metals, physical precious metals, like not like investing in precious metal stocks, like where you buy the shit and you keep it, like it's not gonna go down. It's unheralded, so it may shoot up explosively, which it should be priced way more explosively. Because if you think about Dogecoin, Dogecoin right now is like 55 cents per coin. There's literally right now 130 billion almost Dogecoins in circulation. They could add they could add another 130 billion more Dogecoin tomorrow. Like they could just make it up and throw it in the air, and then there's another like you know 260 billion Dogecoin. Now you could use Dogecoin right now and exchange that for money. You could use any crypto in exchange for money. Like that's not the point of the matter though. Like this is about like retaining your shit in like this economy for the long term because like right now this economy is trash. Like people may not think so, and like a lot of people think that there's a out and getting into like the crypto space, and that represents the fact that we have a good economy, or the fact that regular people are now investing, like that's a sign of a good economy. No, that's a sign of a shitty economy because this economy has always like run full speed ahead. It's not meant to crash. Like they've stopped it from crashing by using inflation, by printing more money. Not recently. They've done this many times, and they've kept passing that puck down the road. But um, at this current juncture right now, it's bound to crash. So when it is bound to crash, I predict that maybe cryptos, which I invest in cryptos too. I've been studying cryptos for over a year, like and I without making one investment into it. Like I just started making an investment into crypto, and it's done really well for me. But um, do I think that's a safe space, like to stop you from getting your shit blown in? Like if the economy crashes, hell's no. Like not one bit. There's a chance that it could be. There's a big chance that it won't um be like a safe harbor. But silver and precious metals, mostly silver, um, are a great place to be. And one case in where precious metals blew up in 2016, like rhodium, which is not a precious metal, but it's a rare metal. It actually looks nice, like if you see it in person. Rhodium was 615 bucks like in 2016. Rhodium right now is like 50 racks an ounce. It was 615 bucks an ounce like in 2016. But rhodium, the reason that it went up was because one, it was suppressed for a long time, the same way gold and silver is, mostly silver. Silver is really, really suppressed. But two, once they changed the fact that like they started clamping down on carbon emissions, like especially like in Europe, they needed rhodium, a little bit of rhodium to put into cars to stop their from you know they needed to put it in the exhaust system of cars so that their emissions were brought or reeled in a little bit. Now that's only one thing that they really use this for. Even though there's not a lot of rhodium that gets mined per year, it's about 1 million ounces per year that gets mined, like taken out of the ground. But silver, supposedly, there's 700 million ounces per year that get taken out, between 700 million and 1 billion per year. But they don't guarantee that they're gonna get 700 million every year. Like there's actually a very likely chance that you're gonna get a lesser and lesser number every year. But also right now, at least 200 million of that per year and counting and going up gets taken off the market by industry uses. They need silver for everything. For every phone you have like uses a little bit of silver. Every flat screen TV, every solar panel, every car. Tesla needs supposedly 2 kilos per Tesla. Um, every non-electric car needs silver. Every piece of electronics, by and large, has silver in it. So in a digital age, like I mean, or in an electronic age that we live in now, where we're more reliant on electronics and whatnot, and where different forms of energy, such as solar, electronic cars, if you will, are going to be requisites even or used a lot more. I mean, you have gas shortages just last week. You know, there's that's more people that are rushing out and saying, like gas shortage could mean natural gas shortage in my house. Like, why not throw these solar panels on my house that I don't got to pay out of pocket for in most cases, and it's just a long term loan, that I don't pay nothing for really. Why not get solar panels? So that's more silver that gets thrown off the market. For a house worth of solar panels, I think it's like 2 ounces of silver. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you factor it against 500 million ounces that are available for somebody to purchase, for you to purchase, why not like you tap into that market and take some of that off the market, which in turn helps the fact that they can't suppress those markets or sell fake paper silver like stocks, which are bullshit. When they don't have that physical silver to leverage against the fake stock market silver, that's taking that ability away from bad people doing that, and it brings that power into your hands. And like if you take have just some of your investments in that, and something really bad were to happen in the economy, I mean, you'd be sitting really pretty. And you don't got to do a lot of it. I mean, like, I think I always tell people, if you got, because everybody got a hard on for cryptos right now, and I can't like say, oh, well, like, that's a stupid investment. I mean, like, because I mean, like, a lot of people are making money in it, but it's not like historically, like, fucking the world was making money on cryptos. That just started happening recently, like, where it's been like a massively adapted, like, or adopted by, your co-workers and shit like that. But for thousands of years, silver, gold have been used as money. But now silver um, is needed in all these other things, and it's not just technology. Whereas gold, even though it's a good store of wealth, you don't really need it for like a lot of things, like in a you know in the world. Copper you do need, and it's really cheap too. I mean, if you can't afford silver, you know, it's a good bet to invest in copper. I think copper went up 800% this year. It's a pain in the ass to store because it's pretty big. Like a kilo of copper, you're talking like $50 maybe. You know, if you can't, and if copper goes up and silver doesn't, then you could swap your silver for copper. Like and those things happen like where the ratio of silver, um, for every ounce, 1 ounce of gold, you get X amount of silver. Like last year it was like 80 to 1, and now it's going back near 60 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. So if you had gold and you bought it at a cheap price, um, and you wanted to swap it last year, like I did for silver, you would have got 80 ounces. And right now, if you try to do it, it's a little bit less, 60. But historically, it's about um 40 ounces for of silver for 1 ounce of gold. So like right now, it just tells you like if gold is like if silver is 60 ounces for every 1 ounce of gold right now, like silver, it's probably a bargain. It's pretty cheap. I mean, right now you're gonna be paying like 31 ounces, 31 bucks an ounce for silver. I mean, people are like taking $100 and like per check and buying like Dogecoin, you know, laughing all the way to the bank. Like take some of that money that you get off your Dogecoin and throw it into silver that you hold in your hand. And more likely than not, I mean, if the economy crashes, like, and you have your Dogecoin on Robinhood, good chance you're not going to be able to do nothing with that Dogecoin. You're not going to be able to take it out the market. You may be able to sell if Robinhood shuts down, like they did with the AME and like GameStop, where they shut down until like they shut down the market and like people, the prices actually came down during that time. So you had to sell it for less than what you wanted or less than what you could have had they let the market stay open on Robinhood at least. You know, you could have your money somewhere more stable instead. You know, and if you do like invest in crypto, like don't leave it on like Coinbase or some shit or Robinhood. You know, better you hold your shit in your hands. But that's a whole complicated thing that you'd have to learn about. It's not impossible for you to learn, but what's easier, doing all that shit, potentially fucking up in the process while you're trying to transfer cryptos from one place to the other, or just going down to a fucking pawn shop with 30 bucks that you're probably gonna spend on fucking Erkin jerk and shit, or some bullshit, you know, um, or fucking buying some crusty bitches OnlyFans, taking that money and putting it into 1 ounce of silver. If silver shoots up like rhodium did, I mean, you're sitting on cake. Let me know what you guys think with that. Well, peace.